So I wanted to talk about a technique that I do as a coach called timeline therapy. I love timeline therapy. It's an amazing way to let go of repressed negative emotions that are stored in the body over time, and can cause stress and more things within the body. So it's like, you're going about your day and something comes along, you're like, oh, deal with that later. And you put it in like a metaphorical box to be dealt with. And, we do this a lot through life. But emotions always stay in the body. They don't go, because energy doesn't disappear. It can be changed, and given over and let go of off the timeline. Or we can change something. So timeline therapy is content free, which means I don't need your whole life story. I don't need you to regurgitate something that you've gone through, which we see a lot, when you're doing conscious work, with like counselling and things like that. You have to repeat yourself over and over. And all this does is bring that situation or what you've gone through into the front of your mind. And that's not what we really want, right? So we work with the subconscious part of the mind, which is very powerful. It notices everything that goes on in a day in the background. It's what does our breathing, all that good stuff. So like we're working with big emotions such as anger, fear, sadness, hurt, guilt, and shame. Shame could be massive as well. And generally people who are AuDHD or neurodiverse can feel emotions more intensely than a neurotypical person can, and it can feel like we wear our nervous system on the outside. So for like an example, as AuDHD people go through life that's typically created, or the environment, should I say, that's typically created for neurotypical people, we may experience like shame for just being ourselves, trying to fit in, constantly being told to focus, do it this way, not that way, but as neurodiverse people, we generally learn things and do things our way. But when you go through school and things like that, and you're being taught in a neurotypical way, giving you examples. So my daughter's been in school and I've had her parents' evening, and all I've ever heard since she's been really little is she doesn't focus. She needs to focus more. And I'm like, okay, didn't know in the past, but now when I went the other week, I was like, okay, yeah, I get that. And I explained, she may be neurodiverse, and so they kind of get it. But things in her school are becoming a bit more understanding, so they can see where she's coming from. So I just say to her, don't take it to heart, because some people just don't understand. Anger from being overwhelmed, underwhelmed, misunderstood, as someone who's AuDHD. It could be being frustrated with something that you believe that you can't do, or something you've set and haven't done. There's many ways that anger can show up for AuDHD. Fear, maybe because we need a routine, a creative outlet as well. If you're AuDHD, so you've got the both sides going. It can either be a challenge or they can work together, depending on whether you're balanced or not. And like everyday life can be challenging. So that's why anxiety can come in, because you're taking in a lot of things around you, sensories. You feel a lot of things that others don't. Sadness, because we may care a lot more, and empathise with others. And I just want to say, like, over the last couple of weeks, so I've done research and stuff like that, and then realising that not everybody who's an empath is neurodiverse, which is interesting, right? So like, if you do relate to being an empath, this is something that you can pick up, but you can also learn not to do, is to pick up on other people's emotions, sadness, a feeling that's not yours. So there's just that. So that's just some examples for you. And then you've got like hurt, because we can take things literally, and take it to heart. Things that are out of our control. We're more in tune with the world around us. And I don't just mean like, pattern recognition and things like that. It can be, we feel and see patterns within the conscious collective as well that many other people, neurotypical brains generally don't pick up. So there's that as well. And maybe not always like understanding social rules, little things like that. And then the comments that you get back, and maybe you feel like you have to explain yourself, and sometimes that can be hurtful, but that's more around understanding as well, isn't it? Then you've got guilt, because perhaps being a parent can naturally make us feel guilt sometimes. I know I'm going to be AuDHD to be feeling that guilt, because it just comes with a package sometimes. So it's good to let that go, and take the positive learnings. Having to constantly regulate emotions and our energy, and not being able to do what others can do. Sometimes you feel guilty because perhaps your body battery, your body energy could be low, and you want to do things, and then you feel guilty for saying no. But no is actually a full sentence. But yeah, that's just some examples. But timeline therapy can help you to like bring clarity, direction in your life, help you to move forwards and develop new positive strategies, motivation for a new, more compelling life. Because what you're essentially doing when we're going back through the timeline is that you're taking the positive learnings from the negative experiences, and then you let go of the negative emotions. But you never let go of the memories. The memories always stay there. It's just that when you look back on them, they don't come with that sting, So like timeline therapy can help you let go of what's holding you back to create a more space for joy and understanding yourself better. There's loads of things that it can work for. Off the top of my head, I can't think right now. So like, what does this look like if you were to work with me as a coach? So it would, like, step by step, it would kind of start with perhaps doing a discovery call, having a chat around what would best suit you, whether timeline would be a good fit for you, and then going on to choose like a starting date and time and what's appropriate for you. And then I would like send out a pre-frame just for your brain to like motor over a little bit, not motor, but just scan over so that it's in your subconscious, for when we actually start the session and I explain it fully. So generally, when people are new to the timeline therapy as a client, it can take around 3 hours to do with the explanation and actually doing the process. And at the end of it, it's totally worth it, because it just makes you feel physically and mentally lighter, and you can actually see the difference. Like, I can see the difference on my clients' faces when I do it to them. And the same for when I have it done, because I have timeline therapy done as well, because it's just one of the best ways to deal with a lot of stuff in one go, in one session, and it's what I call a breakthrough. So yeah, that's timeline therapy, guys. It's amazing. And if you want to know more, I'll pop the link below, and if you want to, you can book yourself in for a discovery call. Hope you're well. Bye.